Hey cruisers! Happy Monday. Happy Vlogtoberfest. We are back in action today, answering your cruise questions and talking about cruise mistakes that newbie cruisers make. Now, if you've been hanging out in the pre-chat, we're having a little cocktail party here. Everybody has been sharing in the chat what their favorite cocktails are the moment they board the ship. A lot of you like champagne. I'm seeing a lot of pina coladas. I saw a coconut mojito from Charles in there. Some really good ones. Mom's in the house. Hi, Mom. And Grandma on the Go is in the house, not to be confused with Mom. We got the mom and the grandma, all the fun names in here. Good to see all of you all here tonight. Now, I have another challenge for everybody. Since we are going to be talking about mistakes that new cruisers make, I'd love for you, seasoned cruisers, because there's lots of you in the chat today, to go ahead and let us know in the chat, what do you think the #1 mistake that new cruisers make is? What's that? Just that one thing that new cruisers often kind of stumble over. Type it into the chat when you're done talking about the cocktail suggestions. So great to see all of you. I'm just glancing down at all of the names right now. Oh, I love it. Miami Vice for Miss Mary. Sounds so good. So good. So we're going to talk about half of the mistakes new cruisers make tonight, and then Wednesday night we're going to go through the other half. We also have a vlog coming out for you all this week. It's coming soon. Mr. Cruise Tips TV is in that editing groove. Got through that first one, and here we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. Okay, Chris Sukarada said overpacking. That's a good one, Chris. I like it. Oh yeah, overpacking is very popular. Carol Osborne is a newbie cruiser, so hang in there, Carol. We're going to give you some really good tips. So I'm going to try not to look at the chat now. I'm going to cover the chat with paper so that I don't see your ideas, and I'm going to tell you half of the mistakes that new cruisers makes today, and then the rest of them are coming on Wednesday. So the #1 mistake that we see newbie cruisers making is they pick the wrong cruise line from day one. So they pick the wrong cruise line for their personality. So they choose a cruise line that isn't compatible with their vacationing style, which is a huge mistake. A few years back, we made a cruise personality quiz just for fun, and I just popped it in the chat. So you can try that quiz if you want and tell me what you get. It's really fun. It's very quick and easy. It's not like a long personality or work assessment test. It's fun, it's tongue-in-cheek, but a lot of times people end up on the wrong cruise line. That's their first cruise, and then they say, oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like cruising, and this is what happened, this is why. And then you start investigating that person's vacation preferences and realize that they're on the wrong cruise line for them. So that's the #1 mistake that we find. #2 mistake, and this is something that a lot of you told me about earlier today when I posted this question over on Facebook. The #2 thing that you said was that people who are new, they actually overplan sometimes. They think it's their first cruise, they have to go and they have to research every single moment of every single day. And while we totally believe in planning, in fact, we believe that underplanning is also a mistake, overplanning can actually leave you feeling a little bit stressed out about your cruise, and it makes it so that you don't leave any free time sometimes in your days, or you're just constantly worried about everything being perfect. An example is on my cruise, my first cruise that I went on with my husband on Princess Cruises back in like 2003. I had been on a cruise before, but not since I was a teenager. So it kind of felt like my first cruise on a big vessel. I looked at all of the menus, every single menu for the entire cruise, and I thought that was a good idea. I thought I knew what I wanted to eat like every day already. I was like, why did I do that? I could have just gone on the cruise ship and enjoyed sort of the anticipation and the surprise. I think it's really fun. Oh my goodness, Mary Ellen Dillon is on the Carnival Pride right now, 10 minutes to showtime. Hello, Miss Mary Ellen, have a wonderful cruise. That's so cool. We are just honored that you popped in and said hello while on your cruise. So yeah, don't overplan. There are some things that call for planning and some that don't. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a little more of a granular fashion soon. So our #3 tip though is about planning. And that is that we think it's a good idea to plan some activities in port. Do a little research on the ports that you might be visiting. That doesn't mean you have to do a cruise line organized shore excursion. It just means you want to do some research on the port that you're going to before you get there. Because you can't assume that every port that you're visiting is a place that you can just get off and walk around. It might not be friendly for that at all. For example, if you go on a cruise to Mazatlan, for example, you're going to be standing among a bunch of industrial shipping containers instead of being in the actual city. And if you did a little research, you'd find that you had to take a little tram into town. So yeah, oh my goodness. Another Carnival Pride cruiser, Melissa Hughes, 14 days on Halloween. How fun. Have a wonderful time, Melissa. That is just so awesome. So yeah, get used to your port of call, do some research on it, find out what you can do. There are lots of great budget things you can do in ports. You don't have to spend money on excursions. You could take a cab to a beach. Sometimes you can walk around the town, but you want to know in advance what those things are. The number 4 tip that we're offering up tonight, we're about halfway through tonight's list, is don't forget to read your daily newsletter once you're on board. And that may come in the form of a paper newsletter. It may come in the form these days of a digital newsletter, which you're probably going to find that it's on your cruise line app. You just want to launch that app and go find out what those daily activities are so that you don't miss out. Not only can you find out about the daily activities, but you can also find out other important things like what time the restaurants are open, what time the bars are open. Sometimes you can make reservations for those restaurants and activities right in the app too. So you definitely want to download that app in advance, and don't forget about your newsletter. You could check it out. All right, coming in at number 5 is more of a concept than a thing. And that is that sometimes new cruisers expect everything to be perfect. I think if we're trying anything new, right? If you're flying to a new country, if you're going anywhere, some people, some of us, have the personality type where we expect things to go a certain way. I am one of those people. For example, yesterday our family went on a trip to IKEA, drove 2 hours to said IKEA. And I had an expectation of how that was going to go in my mind. And so when things didn't go as planned, I was upset. I was frustrated. I was hungry. I was tired, and things did not go the way I planned. A little different than a vacation, but if you have one of those personality types, I'm talking to you because you know who you are. You're like me, and you want things to always go swimmingly, and when they don't, it can be heartbreaking, upsetting. But you have to understand that you're traveling, and the things are not always going to be perfect. Travel isn't perfect, but that's all part of the adventure, as my husband always likes to say. All right, we're going to go through just one more thing, and then we're going to turn it over to questions and answers for a few minutes here tonight. But the last little bit of, the last common mistake that we see new cruisers making is very similar to number 1, and it's that we see new cruisers think, oh, I should try a short weekend cruise and just see how I like it. Well, the thing is, a short 2-3 night cruise is nothing like a 7-night cruise. And you might find that the pace is too frenetic for you, and that maybe the crowd isn't right for you, and that you really didn't get to get a feel for the ship, and that it's not for you at all. You might not like it at all. Whereas if you do a little bit of research and maybe plan out what type of duration is better for you, you might be happier. Now, if you're going to do a bachelorette party or a bachelor party or a girlfriend getaway or dude's getaway, a 3-night cruise might be great. It might be so much fun, and it might be the perfect starter cruise. But what we're saying is that know that you want to never judge cruising as a whole on one cruise. Cruises are all very different, and duration of the itinerary has a lot to do with that. So those are the first 6 tips that we wanted to share tonight, mistakes we see new cruisers making all the time, and we're going to share 11 more on Wednesday night. So come back for more, but now we're going to open it up to questions. Kimberly, have a wonderful time on Carnival Sunrise. Alan Elmore said, how far out should I purchase airfare to my cruise port? Alan, it really depends on a number of different things. These days, because the airlines have more flexible cancellation policies, I would typically personally be booking my air much earlier than I used to because there's less of a risk. Depends on how far you're going. It depends on if you typically see fares go up in the area that you live in, but I can't give you a hard number. I can't say book it 6 months in advance or 2 months in advance, but generally speaking, earlier is better. I will tell you that. Jose said the cruise line personality quiz gave her Royal Caribbean. All right, I love it. Catherine said, hi, I love your shows. Thanks for your advice. Thank you for being here, Catherine. That is awesome, and we would not be here without you. Cynthia B said, never took the fun cruise type quiz and just discovered I'm Royal Caribbean International type. I like it, Cynthia. Very interesting. Yes, Mariah put it beautifully. Mariah said, for us type A people, we have to remember there is joy in letting go. Dang, Mariah. That was powerful. Woo, man. I am going to have to just sit in that for a few moments there because that was really beautiful. Wow. I loved that. I'm just taking that all in. I think that is seriously beautiful. So Mariah, good job tonight. You've given us all some food for thought. All right, Karen and Gord want some ideas for St. Kitts excursions. So, I think beach getaways, catamaran tours on St. Kitts are great. However, St. Kitts Island tours are really a good place to start. From people I've spoken with about St. Kitts, that one of the best ways if you're going there for the first time to see St. Kitts is to do an island tour and really kind of check out the history, the shopping, do it all. If you want a little bit more adventure, they have an ATV tour there. They also have train tours on St. Kitts. You could also take a catamaran over to Nevis if you wanted to do something different, if you've been there before, but I would recommend a full island, like a panoramic tour. Do something where you get to see everything. If I were going there, I would probably do some kind of an island tour combined with ATV or catamaran, maybe do two things. If you've been to St. Kitts a few times, recommendation would be to get a day pass at a hotel. Lori said the quiz hit on the head. Princess Cruises. Oh, I love it, Lori. I've taken it a few times, Lori, and I've gotten different cruise lines, just depending on the mood I'm in. Stephen Ames got Disney. Wow, Stephen. I always think of you as a Royal Caribbean guy, Stephen. That's really interesting. Really interesting. Huh. I love it. Rebecca Scott said, what is Michael Bailey's the CEO announcement tomorrow? I don't know about that. I'm behind a little bit on cruise news today, Rebecca. It sounds like you know more than I do. I'm sorry. I wish I know. Matt just announced it. He announced what the announcement is, or that announcement is coming, Rebecca. Well, maybe Matt will pop in and we can ask him if he knows. Lori, what ports are not to miss in Japan? This will be my 2023 adventure. They're all great. So it depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to do the north, the southern islands, the Sea of Japan, if you want to do spring flowers, there's just different vibes and different history and culture, Lori, for all of them. So I'm going to say that they're all wonderful, and that I don't want you to feel like any of them are not to be missed. Because they all offer such beautiful charm, and whatever itinerary you are picking, it's going to be a winner. If you want to DM me a couple of screenshots of a couple of different itineraries you're looking at, I could try to help help you choose between a couple if you'd like. That might be something I could do. But one of the things, I can tell you something that would interest me in Japan, and this might help you. So a spring flowers cruise is always going to be great, and you can do that. You can do it in the Sea of Japan, you could do it in the north, and it's always at different times, right? So that could be one way to do it. You might find you want to hit the festivals in the summertime, and that could be really great in Japan as well. For me, because I've done sort of the Tokyo area, the next time I go to Japan, I want to either do the north or the south. So I either want to do the southern islands or I want to do the north. So you kind of just have to look at it that way. It might be good to start with like a cruise that goes from Tokyo and maybe that hits Shimizu, Kyoto, Osaka for Kyoto. Those types of ports can be really good and they're very popular. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light on that question, Lori. It's really hard because Japan is, you just really cannot lose. You're going to have an amazing time. We loved Shimizu, Lori. It was one of our favorite ports because it had a view of Mount Fuji. So that was one of our favorite ports. Yes. We didn't even do anything in Shimizu. We just walked around and we still loved it. It was great. All right. I'm looking at the next question underneath Lori's and I can't see it just yet. Turbo Cat. I've never done the zip line in Ensenada, but it sounds really fun. Michelle DeGroot said, can you post the quiz again? Of course, here it is. You already did it? Oh, okay, sorry, I did it too. Okay. Milana Johnson said, hey, Sherry and the boys, where is this cruise quiz? Want to take it? Here it comes. It's in the chat for you. Yep. It is really fun. In fact, I'll pin it to the top of the chat so it doesn't get lost. There we go. I'll replace it. All right. Great job. One thing I want to do is go back and look at all of your first-time cruiser mistakes that you all mentioned. I'll do that a little bit later. Ashley K said, question, would a couple without kids enjoy Carnival? We don't mind kids, just wondering about entertainment and other things. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who go without children on Carnival. Lots and lots of couples of all ages go without their kids on Carnival, especially right now, because there aren't that many kids cruising. I do think that, Ashley. I think whether or not you'll enjoy Carnival depends on what you like. So let me tell you a little bit about the entertainment on Carnival. So entertainment on Carnival, there's good production shows. They have like playlist production shows. I wouldn't say they're like super uber Broadway quality, right? They're good. They're really good, but playlist productions sometimes feels a little more scaled back. If you like comedy, you will love Carnival. Carnival is really well known for their comedy. Lori, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the generous super chat, and you're so welcome. Let me know if I can help you with Japan in any way. It's awesome that you're going. I'm really, really excited for you. Steven, I'm drinking iced tea tonight. Thanks for asking. Okay, let's see. Trey said, my wife and I love Carnival, and we have no kids. Okay, good. Someone weighing in on that. That's really, really helpful. What was Jim Ring's question? I'm so sorry I missed that. Let me find it, Angelique. You got it? Mr. Cruise Subsidy is going to type it up on the little... We have a little iPad that we put in front of the camera or underneath the camera so I can see your questions more easily because they go by so fast. So thank you for your patience. Lisa, definitely do a Japan cruise. It's life-changing. It's literally life-changing. Jim Ring said, how do you find out what the booked capacity is on a cruise you're on? The only way I know how to do it, Jim, is ask every single person that looks like an employee on day one. Not really. I started asking in the terminal. I was like, the person who checked me in behind the counter, I was like, how many people are on this ship? Honestly, a lot of people know. The front desk staff knows. The cruise director staff typically knows. I just ask once I'm on board. How do you know before you get on? There's no science to it, but your travel agent can kind of, sort of look at what's available and maybe get a general idea of how sold out it is. I don't think your travel agent has a magic number, but yeah. All right. Rebecca Scott said, I just called Royal Caribbean and they said they aren't taking any home test kit, even the Binax from Abbott. You have to pay $68 and buy theirs. I'm recommending, Rebecca, to everyone, if you're cruising with Royal Caribbean, if you're cruising with Carnival, that you buy the one on their website. That is definitely what I would recommend that you do too. I would not mess around with anything other than what's in their health and safety protocols. And that $68 is probably for a pack of 2, by the way. Okay. Trey Bartle said, in Long Beach, which hotel do you prefer, the Maya or the Hilton? I prefer the Maya because it's closer to the cruise ship and it's just fun. It's got like a beach and it's right on the water. Now, if you want to be more downtown Long Beach, like over by all the restaurants and the outlets and things, it's fun to be at the Hilton. And the Hilton is a big resort. It's, it's got a little bit more in the way of amenities than the Maya, but the Maya has a charm that I love. So they're both great. Michelle de Groot said something about Icon of the Seas. I'm so sorry. I'll have to look up this announcement. It was an announcement about Icon of the Seas. Oh, that's what she thinks? Okay, cool. Thank you, honey. Ms. Mary said, I just took the quiz. It says Royal Caribbean and I've only been on Carnival. How fun. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's a good transition to make too. If you've been on Carnival, you're probably pretty likely to like Royal Caribbean, at least more than some other lines. It's a good crossover, I guess I would say. B. Lamb said, I'm a Royal gal. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Stephen. I know, it's so depressing. Cynthia Blinkenstop said, how to pack for a transatlantic cruise in April, layers, merino wool, rain gear. Yes, yes, and yes. So because of the fact that the first portion of it, if you're leaving from Europe coming over, could be chilly. I would do all of that. I would pack almost like you're packing for Alaska, but then depending on which cruise line you're on, some nice clothes for indoors too, but a nice non-skid shoe to wear around the outer decks if you want to get out and walk around during the harsh weather. It could end up being gorgeous that whole time, but I have a feeling you're going to have wind and maybe some rain. Carol Osborne said, any good tips for a Norwegian Alaska cruise? We're older, 50 to 60s, not old, but older. Well, it's hard for me to give you tips on just like Norwegian specifically, but I would probably say if you're going on Bliss or Encore, get up there and enjoy that observation lounge, book a balcony cabin for views if you can. Specific to Norwegian though, it's hard, but we have a lot of great packing tips for Alaska, just general Alaska tips. But you're gonna have a blast. Get out there, do all the fun things. If you're on one of the newer ships, pack a swimsuit, do the water slides. You don't have to do the crazy one, do the tame ones, do the go-karts. Even if you're 50 and 60, you're gonna love them. Just get out there and do it all. All right, interesting. Kimberly got Princess and she's usually done Carnival. Alan Elmore said, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary in March and Oasis. Any way to set up a special dinner in advance? It depends, Alan, on which cruise line you're on. Oh, Oasis. Alan, I think that on Royal Caribbean, I think that you probably will have to do something special in the dining room, but you could reserve your dining times in advance. Maybe at Chops, maybe at Wonderland, maybe something like that would be really special. I don't know about like in-room dining or something, but I'm sure that the staff would love to help you with that. Maybe ask Matt over at Royal Caribbean too if he has any ideas. Elizabeth Diaz said, weather in the Mexican Riviera in early December. It is glorious. It's one of my favorite times of year to go to the Mexican Riviera is early December because it's a little bit cooler and it's a little more dry in Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, and it's usually really sunny and just perfect in Cabo. But those 2 days down and those 2 days back are going to be chilly willy, Elizabeth. So be ready for it. Aw, Mike and Cheryl said, going on Harmony of the Seas, best thing to do on a rainy day. Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. Definitely hit up the shows in the evening, like Columbus, the musical, and things like that. Do all of the theater stuff. That's really super duper fun. Other indoor things, enjoy that promenade area, right? The Royal Promenade. Get in there, go let the robotic bartenders mix you up a drink, go to the ice cream shop, see if they have cupcake making classes available that day. They usually have like a cupcake class, which is really, really great. Mr. Cruise Tips TV has a suggestion. He said, catch a view of the boardwalk from Wonderland. I can see it in my mind's eye. Harmony of the Seas. Hi, Ale. Nice to see you. Catherine, thank you for the darling little super sticker. That is oh so cute. Oh, so cute. I love it. Cheryl has a good idea for you, Alan. She said purchase room decorations and strawberries and chocolate because she is a romantic. Hi, Beachy Mama. How was Matt's live today? I hope it went really well. Okay. All right, how are we doing on questions? We're going to wrap up pretty soon here. We're going to wrap up at 5:45 and go make ourselves some chicken parmesan for dinner tonight. Margie Butcher said 30-plus day cruises are different from 7 or 14-day cruises. Question, do you think you would schedule a long cruise? We love them. Oh, heavens, yes, I would, Margie. It's my dream. I mean, are you kidding me? World cruise, bring it on. That just sounds like my absolute dream. Brittany McMurtry said, what is the capacity on Oasis of the Seas? Brittany, I believe Oasis can hold up to about 5,400 passengers or so, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's a big one. It's a big ship. It's a big ship. Larry Glenn said, question, anyone have luck getting the Princess Medallion app to take a Canadian passport? Ooh, Larry, I wish I had the answer to that. Oh, Alan, you had chicken parm last night? I'm sorry, Larry, I don't know the answer to that, but hopefully we can get some clarity. Jim said, I took the quiz, and not surprisingly, you came up a princess. Of course you came up a princess, Jim. You're so cute. Oh, I love it. Oh, my God. Brandy said, I booked the cruise room you recommended on Adventure of the Seas. You got the pole room, Brandy. The room with the pole. It's a fun room, and those views. Ooh la la, you're gonna love the views off the aft of that ship. It is fabulous. That pole right in the middle of the room is really weird, but it is a great cabin. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Wow, how neat. Oh, Brittany, I'm assuming it's probably limited capacity, but don't count on it lasting for too much longer. I think most ships are sailing at limited capacity. Okay. Thanks for the information on that, Mike and Cheryl, for helping out. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate that. Did I miss anybody's questions? If I missed your question, please retype now. We would love that. Going to pop back up here and just take a look at some of the mistakes that a lot of people said in the beginning. Overpacking was a big one. Definitely packing too much and just not packing the right stuff. Michelle had a good one. Not checking the deck plan to see what's above and below your cabin was a new cruiser mistake. Ooh, that is a good one. Michelle, I like that. We might have to amend our list with that one. Really smart. Oh, I'm so sorry, Michelle. Michelle Tessier, what you could do for Princess is call and ask them if they have upgrades available, or ask your travel agent to call and see how much it would cost to upgrade to a balcony. The closer you get to your cruise, sometimes there's an option to do it. We've upgraded on Princess, paid for it many times. I've paid as little as $40 and as much as $400. Cheryl Wine said, going on Serenade of the Seas in June to Alaska. Any tips? Yeah, pack layers. Take a camera or a great quality smartphone, pack some binoculars, get outside on glacier viewing days, and make sure that you view the glacier as you're approaching the glacier and leaving the glacier. Do not go back inside when you leave the glacier. Stay out on the open decks. Alan Elmore, are you part of the vlogger group cruise? No, we are not going to be doing that. The group cruise concept is already hard enough for us because it's a lot. So we're not going to be able to do a multi. That will not ever happen. A vlogger group cruise is just not going to be our style. I'm so sorry. But I'm being totally honest with you. I think it's better to just be honest. Okay. Elizabeth Diaz says, do you know if Carnival provides coolers or small fridges for medications? Yeah, they have refrigerators on most of their ships, Elizabeth. You should be fine. If the cooler in your room is not sufficient, get to the front desk and ask for a replacement. You should be just fine. Great questions. Oh my goodness, I love it. Good thought. Lori said, make sure you check your expiration date on COVID test before you order. Most of them are allowing extensions, by the way, on the expiration dates because of the shortage, hopefully. Wow, Jim said you're at Carmel by the Sea, spending the week there with your sister and brother-in-law. So nice to see different walls. Yes, isn't it wonderful to road trip? Jim, in California, and that's one of the beautiful things about where we live in this state we live in, is that there are some incredible road trips and some beautiful coastal getaways. What a great idea to get a Verbo and get out there. That is so awesome. Oh my gosh, Paradise Cruiser said, we're about to go on the panorama with Lee. Is there anything we should not miss? Don't miss any of the deck parties with Lee. Sail Away, the Mega Deck Party, and the 80s Party. For 80s night and Mega Deck Party, you got to stay up till 10:30 and go to those parties. He is phenomenal. The parties are phenomenal. Just trust me, stay up late. 10:30 to me is like 2 in the morning for other people. So it was very hard for me to stay up until 10:30. But I did it. Drea, when should you order your COVID test sailing in December? I'm recommending people about 14 days before your cruise at this point, but a little earlier could not hurt. Cynthia said, where to overnight in Fort Lauderdale before boarding hell? A lot of us here in the chat like the Embassy Suites on 17th Street. It's a great one, and they have a happy hour at night and free snacks. It's really fun. Yeah, Karen and Gord, you're going to be loving it. Yeah, Beachy Mama said the vloggers cruise will be more of a party scene. Definitely not a party girl. We aren't either. And I believe me, I think it's wonderful what they're doing. I know and care for many of those people who are doing it. It's just not our style. We're not partiers either. Like I said, I'm in bed by 10, guys. I'm not going to be dancing on the bar stools at all, ever, in any circumstances. So it's just not our jam, but I'm really happy that they're doing it. I think it's a brilliant idea, and what a great way to let the cruising community hang out with a bunch of creators all at once. Brilliant, super smart. AJ said, I finally made it. 6 weeks on the panorama was a blast. I thought I might get tired of it, but nope. AJ, what? That is so cool. You've got everybody here just super jealous. Amazing ship. AJ, as a seasoned Carnival cruiser, give us a couple of tips. What are your favorite things to do? What did you do week after week that we should know about? Oh, Chica, that's so awesome. You got celebrity on the quiz. JP Travel Adventures, we don't have a cruise planned yet. Nanette, the Embassy Suites is pretty close, yeah. A good short shuttle drive or Uber or something like that. Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap up, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. Taking a quick look. Julie said dinner, show, then bed. I know, some of us are old. It's true. Oh, Elizabeth, I don't have any recommendations for you out of Louisiana Cruise Port, but we'll see if maybe someone, as we wrap up tonight, can type those in for you. Okay. Let's see. Cool, guys. We did good. We did good tonight. That was really, really fun. I hope you'll come back and join us on a Wednesday evening, 5:15 Pacific. We're going to talk about the rest of the new cruiser mistakes. Stay tuned also for an announcement of the premiere of our next vlog. A premiere means that we do something kind of like this. When we release the vlog, we are going to get into the chat and we're going to watch it live with you. We'll give you some notice on that, but it's coming soon, just so y'all know. Hotels out of Miami, Brian, Intercontinental's great. There's a lot of hotel options in Miami. So, but I've heard that Intercon is a really good choice. Okay. Wow, Grand Suite, Laura, that would be a favorite. I don't know which Grand Suite would be good, but just any Grand Suite would be amazing. Southern Caribbean, the ABC Islands are awesome, TD. If you can do those are great, but really you can't go wrong with any Southern Caribbean itinerary. But a lot of people here like the ABC Islands. All right, y'all, we're wrapping up. Going to make some chicken parmesan. Thank you so very much. Oh, it's that AJ. Oh, AJ, it took me a minute. Hi. Enjoyed visiting with you too, my friend. I want to look at your tips and see what you said. I'll go back up and watch that in a little bit. But thank you all for being here. We'll see you Wednesday night. Until then, see you on the high seas.
Cruiser of the week.
Hey, click me to